Good morning. You're kind of in a strange place right now, but I guess this is going to turn into something like a, what do they call it, get ready with me or whatever it is. It's Friday, by the way, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ina. I don't usually do this kind of thing, but I'm just experimenting with my, with vlogging, and I'm trying to multitask. Very interesting things happen when I try to multitask. So I am in the process of getting ready to go run some errands, and I'm going to be filming decorating the Yule tree, trimming the Yule tree today. I just finished filming a little clip to put at the end of my last video where I made the wreath, and I'm going to be editing that video today and putting it up on YouTube. This will probably, I'm debating about whether to put this up maybe as a special on Sunday, because that's actually when the winter solstice is, or maybe I'll do it on Monday, because Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the days when I usually try to upload, but I'm not usually able to do it on Monday. So we shall see what we shall see. So right now I'm just getting ready. Did my cleanser, just a second. And I'm going to do a little bit of, just a little bit of eye makeup for today. I'm not sure if I'm also going to talk about the progress that I've made on my new story idea, or maybe I'll just leave that for the next writing vlog. I'm just filming as I feel, so to speak, if that makes any sense. And I think since I'm going to pick up some stuff from the library, I finally got the book that I've been waiting for weeks and weeks. Because if you don't know, I am preparing to query my debut novel. It's a cozy mystery. I have 2 videos up on that, a little introduction and my actual video where I go over the storyline a little bit more. I don't want to say too much because it's not out yet, but I was finally able to get the book on publishing that I'd found, must have been, what was it, 2 years ago, something like that. I mentioned it on my author site, the Whiteraven net, and I featured it there, and I said that that book was definitely one that I was going to use when it was time. Eyeliner. Where's my eyeliner? So that finally came in. I couldn't remember the title of it, but I recognized the cover, so I'm going to be picking that up today. So yes, I got that, and I also have ordered several books on folklore, because I wanted to read some of that for inspiration, but also just for my own interest. Not everything is necessarily for writing inspiration. I hope I'm not constantly going out of frame. I can't really, I have to have you propped up in an odd space. Well, I have to have the camera propped up in an odd space. So I'm going to pick all that up. I think I have a couple of DVDs too in. Alright. So we're going to get that, and then I'll come home and vlog the tree, the trimming of the tree, which will be nice. I'm also going to take my rolling caddy so I don't have to carry stuff on my shoulders, you know, carry bags on my shoulders all the way back, because most of the books that I'm going to pick up I've never read before, so some of them may be a little thick and heavier. And I just want to break from carrying those loads, so I'm going to use a caddy instead. And that way I can keep my hands a little bit freer. I'm also going to mail my last Christmas card. Gotta do that. Ideally, I want it to get there tomorrow, but I couldn't send it out as early as I wanted to. That's okay. Stuff just got in the way. So I hope everybody else is doing their cards. If you do cards, if you don't, that's fine. I just like doing them. I like getting letters. I almost never do, but I like to correspond with friends around the country, and you know, email is great, but it's not something that I necessarily prefer. It was really, really cold yesterday. The temperature started out in the 50s in the morning and rapidly dropped. Not really feeling the red lip today, but you know what, I'm going to do it anyway, because I haven't done it in a while. There we go. Yeah, give myself a little bit of a boost, you know. Yeah. And 'tis the season. Not that it isn't always the season, you know. But still, I'm going to wear one of my brooches. Okay, I'm going to finish packing up now and then head out. I'm not going to be taking you with me to and from. I'm still not able to use my phone yet, so who knows, maybe at some later time I'll do some different vlogging. But I'm going to go run my errands, and then I'll come back. You can see the little brooch that I decided on. I have one that's a wreath, a holly wreath, but my mother's wearing that one, so we alternate back and forth with these two. So I am going to go run my errands, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what's up with the tree, and I will also show you my library haul and the book that really made a big impression on me with querying and such. Hey, so I'm back. That was a really good walk. I walked to do all of my errands, and it's not as cold, nearly as cold as it was yesterday, because yesterday it was way below freezing. Today it's in the 40s, more or less, and sunny, which is nice. So it's cold and almost completely clear. So I got the stuff from the library. Some more things came in while I was preparing, because I checked my account this morning, and there were only a few things, like 3. I now had 8. 2 ILLs, interlibrary loans, but those were DVDs. I'm not going to bother with those in this particular haul. I'm just going to go with the books. Now, I'm going to start with two of the ones from a previous haul. I ran through the Premonitions Bureau, Sam Knight's book, The Premonitions Bureau. I do highly recommend that. Into the Fog with Peter Laws here on YouTube. He actually features that book in one of his spooky videos. He tells a couple of the stories from that book. It's all based on, it's a true account of some people who were trying to catalog a history of people who had foreseen different things, either in their personal lives or in society in general. And they were trying to create an early warning system to help lessen the death tolls during various disasters like plane crashes, the tragedy at Aberfan, if you know anything about that, with a lot of people, particularly underage children, who died because they were either crushed or buried alive. I remember vaguely, I recognize the name Aberfan. I have no idea where I heard it before, but that was very familiar to me. I don't know why. But yeah, I read that book. I was originally going to alternate between that and Courtney Mom's Before and After the Book Deal, which is the next one that I'm going to be reading. I got this in my previous library haul, previous trip to the library. But I got so engrossed in the Premonitions Bureau that I just breezed through it. That's a very, very interesting book. I'm going to get it again at some point and reread it. It's definitely going to go on my reread list. But this is the one that I'm going to read next. Semi-force myself to read because this is more work, querying for the cozy mystery. So that is what I'm going to make myself read next. I already have the bookmark in it, so I'm committed. So, the new haul, a lot of these are, well, let me start before I go into the folklore. This is the book that I've been waiting to get, An Insider's Guide to Publishing by David Comfort. This is an unapologetic view of the publishing industry. And when I say publishing industry, I include self-publishing as well, which is really self-printing. Technically, there really isn't such a thing as self-publishing, speaking from personal experience, as well as from what I've heard others say. I wasn't 100% convinced, but now that I am a self-published author through Amazon, I can definitely tell you, yeah, there really is no such thing as self-publishing. At least that's my view of it. But this is the book, David Comfort's An Insider's Guide to Publishing. This was the very first book that I read about 2 years ago on querying. I really didn't know what I was letting myself in for when I read this. But I will be featuring this in a separate book talk video. It'll be like a combination of book talk and what's going on with the debut novel. This gives you an idea of, I don't know if you're really going to be able to see the table of contents. I can't tell. It would help if I put on my glasses, wouldn't it? Hold on. You got glasses, girl. What you doing? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure that you can really see the table of contents, but it's pretty well organized, and this is a book that I could probably talk for quite a while on. It is the one that I remember. And it's not a, how should I put it? Speaking from memory, it's not a let me hold your hand and guide you through the publishing industry and, kind of pat your hand and say, oh, don't worry, it's all going to be all right. No, he just gives it to you straight. He's just going to give it to you straight. This is the reality of both traditional publishing and self-publishing. This is, it's a kind of book that I think with some people might be very unpopular But for me, it's perfect. So I'd rather know than not know. So now we're going into the folklore. And I got a whole bunch of different things. 1, 3, 5 different books on folklore. This is primarily just for my own interest, and because I know, for my own peace of mind, so to speak, I need an alternative to the job type books, the querying type books. Because if I focus on that too long, I get really edgy. So, this is, they put the sticker over the author's name, how dare you, by Ben Gazour, A Feast of Folklore, the Bizarre Stories Behind British Foods, or Food. I thought this would be interesting, just because some of their foods have such weird names to us Americans. They don't really seem to make that much sense. Some of the names are, no offense intended, a little disgusting to us. If you asked me if I wanted to eat something with a particular name, I'd probably say, no. Why would you even call it that? Let's see. Oh, yeah. This was something that sounded interesting. Owen Davies, A Supernatural War. Let's see. What is the magic, divination, and faith during the First World War? I've heard some stories of interesting things that happened during both World Wars, and I wanted to read up on that a little bit more. So, like I said, this is primarily just for my own interest. If this ends up inspiring something with future projects, that's just how it works. So I got that. I've never read any of these books before. And then I also got this book, Folklore of the Sea, Myths and Legends of the Maritime World. The author is Margaret Baker. The illustrator is Philip Harris. I'm not familiar with either of their works, but this is a really nice cover. It's several different shades of blue with some gray and white. Hardcover. I'll show you the back. This was kind of a departure for me because I have issues with things regarding not water per se, but ships. And then I got The United States of Cryptids, A Tour of Americans, Myths, and Monsters by J.W. Ocker. I believe that's how the name's pronounced. This is a very, very nice cover. Look at that gilding. Yeah, trying to keep it in the frame. And then you just have a regular write-up on the back. Nearly all of these, yeah, with the exception of the Insider's Guide to Publishing, all of these are hardback. I like it. I like it. Ooh, green. That's different. Oh. First page I see. The Jersey Devil. Okay, so I got that. And then I got one on Appalachian folklore. Yeah, trying to take the stickers off. Mysterious happenings of folk spirits and mystic shades from the ancient foothills. I'm on a little bit of an Appalachian kick, or something similar to it. Let's see. Okay. Carman Carrion. Carman spelled C-A-R-M-A-N. Carrion. The sticker is partially covering the name again. And some of the lettering here is raised. But I will, oh, and I don't know if you can see, but, oh yeah, you can. There we go. There we go, it's focusing now. The forest. Yeah, so, ooh, look at that artwork. Right there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so, that is the library haul for now. I'll be featuring a lot of these in the book talk videos. I'm going to have a lot of book talk videos. A lot of book talk videos. That's definitely going to be something you'll get quite a bit of going into the new year. But yeah, I'm committed to this. I gotta... I'm committed to it. I'm committed to it. I'm trying to convince myself. I'm convincing myself, primarily. Okay, so, I already know what to expect with this. So I'm going to do at least a couple of the new ones first. And I'm going to try not to rush myself, because I have a tendency to rush myself, which doesn't exactly help. So, that is this library haul. It's lunchtime now, so I gotta go put something in my stomach, and then we will trim the tree. Okay, so I have you set up, sorry about the lighting, there's nothing I can really do about it. I have you set up on the bookshelf so you can see the tree. I'll plug it in a minute so you can see the lights. Unfortunately, I've had to spend an awful lot of time trying to fix some issues with my editing software. I'm going to have to change the editing software that I use. Let's see. Maybe I can put you in a better spot. But if I do that, you're not going to see the tree. Okay. Hold on. Let me try something. Okay, I think I found a secondary place where I can put the camera. So I'm going to show you what the tree looks like right now, close up. This is the tree skirt. I got this a year or two ago. And then this is just one of the thinnest false trees that we could get. We don't have a tree topper, so I always use the angel wings up there, which, there you go. Now you can see them. So, I am going to try to hold up all the items that I'm going to put on the tree so that you can see. And let me plug it in. There we go. A little awkward. You can't really see very much. Can I adjust you maybe? Yeah, okay. Alright. I usually decorate from the top down. I don't know why. But I'm going to have it facing me first, and then I'll turn it more towards the center of the room. And I decided to put this up yesterday. I was originally going to film yesterday, but got too busy with other stuff. Okay, let me move this out of the way. So I've got this little bell that I showed you before. I think I'm going to put this, I think right here. There we go. I don't usually put that much on here. I like to do the old 1940s tradition, at least that's where I found it, of putting Christmas cards on the tree. And I'm going to hang up these little, I showed these in a previous video, little ceramic ornaments. I don't remember where I got them. Let's see. These are a bit heavier, so I want to make sure that let's do it like this. That's better. Yeah. Sometimes I like to add, in fact, I think I've done it every year since we had them. We got the bubble lights, the vintage bubble lights. But this year I don't think I'm going to include those. I think instead I'm just going to leave the lights, these white lights on that the tree came with. And that way I have more room for the other ornaments. I did dry the last orange, dehydrate it in the oven. So I'm going to string these on the tree. Let's see. Not do a whole bunch because we actually don't have very many ornaments that we're okay with hanging on the tree. I'm also considering maybe at the bottom, let's see, doing something at the bottom, maybe with this little arch. This is actually a fairy arch for a fairy garden. I love fairy gardens. So I've never really been able to use this. I used it briefly in one of our potted plants, in one of the philodendrons. But right now there isn't any room for it. So I'm considering putting this at the base of the tree. Give it a little magical touch. We'll see. I'm not sure if it would stay upright because the metal base is not completely flat, so this keeps wanting to tilt. So we'll see what we can do about that. Let's see. I was considering also cutting out some ornaments from a broken down cardboard box. I might do that and hang these first because the cards are going to be kind of large. They're different sizes, but some of them are going to be a little big. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first of the ornaments, and it's going to go right there. I like it. Let's see. Let me turn this a little bit so you can see as it creaks. There. And you can see how it, can you see how it's catching the light? Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of making them as I'm hanging them. Okay, I tried to make the two halves of the triple moon symbol, and then I'm gonna do one in the middle. Didn't really come out the way I was hoping, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's see. So these three I want to keep together. See, one here, and then one here. Yeah. And then I'll put the center one, you know, full moon symbol. Right. Or maybe I'll do it lower. Maybe I'll do it lower. Should I do it lower? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Let me thread the center. Which one? I think this one for the center. Let's see. I'm using some cotton pearl again, but I'm using brown because I don't really want the thread to stand out as much as it did on the garland. Okay. Right in the middle. Well, upper middle. Not dead center, just because you want it to hang from the top. Okay. And I'm just putting a knot. That's really all you gotta do. Like so. Okay. Can I put it there? Yes. But should I put it lower? Let's experiment. 1, 2. I think this is going to work better. Let's see. Rearrange some of these. And then 3. Oh yeah, that works better. How's that? Yeah. Okay. So let me show you. There we go. So this is what it looks like so far. And then I'm just going to hang a couple more of the oranges. Okay, this is what it looks like so far with the orange slices. I will try to film it at night when you don't have the daylight streaming in through the window, you know, and everything is backlit. And then you'll get a better feel for what it's like. So now I am going to do these cards. And I'm just going to sit them on the branches. Okay. So let me know if you're putting up a tree. If you're not, do you do any other kinds of decorating, or what kind of traditions do you have this time of year? Let's see. This is kind of a bigger one, so I didn't want it to take up too much room. Yeah, let's get a smaller one, like this one. These are just cards that we received during this time of year. Some of them aren't necessarily stereotypically Christmassy, but it doesn't matter. We don't care. It's the thought that counts. And it's nice to have the different colors. Oh, yeah. I have the little bird's nest too. I still think I'm going to put the cards on first though. Yeah, I'm going to put the cards on first. Because these are bigger and I want to make sure that I have enough room let's see. And some of these we'll also put at the base because some of them are more stand-up, like this, more, you know, they open like that instead of the stereotypical upright standing ones. Yeah. In fact, I think I'll put that, since this one is a heavy one, so I'm going to put that at the bottom. And instead, put this one right there. So these will go at the base. Let's see, there, there, there. I can't put very many high up because they won't stay. I think I'll put this one here. And then the others will go at the base. Well, I think I can put this, let's see. I don't want it to look too lopsided. Of course, I'm not sure that one's really going to show because I'm going to be turning this. Let's see. Oh no, it shows. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Okay. And it's kind of bare back here, but that's because this is where the cord connects to the tree. If I had an extension cord, I would move this someplace else, but we don't have an extension cord. They're all burned out. And I never got a new one. Kept meaning to, but you know, life. Just life. So that's the side that you don't really want people to see. Okay. And everything else is just fine. Let's see. Yeah. The cards more below. More at the bottom. Nah, I'll put one of the bird's nests there. Let me go get those. Okay, this is essentially what it looks like now. So I managed to prop up the little fairy arch, and there are some of the cards scattered around the base. I'll adjust all this later, I think. I usually end up fiddling with the tree several times. And I have it turned towards the center of the room. You can see the orange slices. I got a bird's nest there, card, bird's nest. And so I like how that one kind of sticks out. That reminds me of the movie Christmas in Connecticut, if you've seen that one. Okay. And then we got a bird's nest there. And the bell. I think I'm going to adjust these wings a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. There we go. So that's what it looks like now. I have a couple of, I'm pretty sure I have a couple of angel ornaments, but I'm not sure where they are. I'm in the process of switching out, actually packing away the fall stuff. So if I find those over the weekend, I'll show them to you. Yeah, I'm going to adjust that. But all in all, I'm very happy with it. I can't really film and do this at the same time. I'm trying. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust the one above it. That's what I got to do. Okay. Let's see if we can do it like that. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I'm happy for now. Again, apologies for the lighting. There's really nothing I can do about it. Now let me go and see if I can beat this editing software issue that I got. I've been trying to edit the footage for the wreath video, and it's really causing problems. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to see if I can switch software. So, and you might have noticed that I'm not filming in 4K anymore. Yeah, I got rid of that. I'm not bothering with that anymore. So instead, I'm using this format. So that's it for the tree. Thank you for joining me for this little Yuletide craft project. I am strongly considering, because the solstice falls on Sunday this year, which will be really nice because my mother will be off from work. It's a weekend. We're not focusing on, the usual stuff. But I'm considering, even though I don't usually upload on Sunday, I have a playlist of 5 classic films that you can see for free on YouTube. I may have mentioned this before. It's kind of been a long day. You didn't see most of the day. You're just seeing a tiny portion of the day. I'm considering making that playlist public, and it may go up on Sunday. I'm pretty sure that I am going to make it public, even if it's only temporarily, because I'm not a movie channel. But since I'm doing this hashtag Yuletide, hashtag You Are Not Alone series, I guess you could call it a series, I thought it would be a good idea, especially because of all the stuff that's coming out with Hollywood. Sorry for the bad word. Sorry for the bad word. It's become a really bad word. I mean, it always kind of was in my household, but now it's out in the open for everybody to see, isn't it? So I'm thinking of putting these classic films out so people can find them if you haven't seen them yet, or maybe you have seen them but you don't own them. We own our own DVD collection, and most of the ones that I wanted to include on the playlist you can't see for free on YouTube, and I really didn't want anybody to have to pay, particularly if they're not sure that they're going to like the films. But I am going to I've decided I am going to make that playlist public, at least for the duration of December, starting on the solstice this Sunday. Starting there, I'm going to make it available at least for the duration of December and January. And if you like me to sometimes do seasonal playlists, not of my own content, it's just a compilation of stuff that I get from other channels that I like to watch, whether it's ambiance, ASMR, different different theme, different sound videos, because I do play a lot of that sometimes as background noise. Not necessarily when I'm writing, but just when I'm not focusing on other work type stuff. If you want me to put some of that on public, go ahead and comment down below and let me know, because I usually go according to the season or the festival. I typically use the Celtic names, the Irish names for a lot of the festivals. That's just because of my Wiccan past, but I mean, you can use them for pretty much any time of the year, but they're usually seasonal.